to my video on R.C.Ds. You haven't heard from me from a while because I've been in the process of purchasing my own home, which has been a nightmare. But I'm back and gonna be hopefully giving you one video a week from now on. And on this video, I want to talk to you about R.C.Ds, what they're used for, why you should have one, and how to test them effectively. Residual current devices, R.C.Ds, detect dangerous electrical fault currents and cut the power off immediately, preventing you from getting dangerous and perhaps fatal electric shocks. So how do you know if you have one? Typically, they are located inside your fuse board, protecting an individual circuit or a bunch of circuits, and they're usually clearly marked R.C.D. And if the electrician who has installed it has done it correctly, there will be a label instructing you to test it over a set period of time. So why do you need one? Perhaps a history in electrical engineering in this country. Years ago, electricians would install cables in steel pipe to protect them from people drilling or cutting into them whenever they're concealed in walls or underneath floorboards. Electricians would also have to install additional protective bonding conductors to a bathroom or a wet room to give additional protection against electric shocks. These are just two examples of many scenarios in which, in today's modern construction, these methods of protection have been replaced for using R.C.Ds to protect against electric shocks. Now that's great for me and other electricians because it means we can comply by installing R.C.Ds to protect your circuits and not have to install steel pipe in a wall or under your floorboards or mess about underneath your bathtub installing bonding. However, steel pipe in a wall does not become less effective over time, and unfortunately electrical equipment does. And that is why it's important to test these devices over a set period of time. So much faith is put in these devices from an engineering standpoint, whereas if they do fail, you could be open to a number of potential dangers. To test if yours is functioning correctly, simply press the test button marked T on the device and the switch will operate instantly. If it doesn't operate, it's time to call a professional to find out why. My first top tip to you is do not be tempted to go down to somewhere like Screwfix and buy a replacement R.C.D and carry out the job yourself. While it is a like-for-like replacement, simple job, it might not be functioning correctly for several other reasons. The best thing to do is to call a registered electrician in who will have the correct diagnostic equipment, and he will be able to tell you exactly why your R.C.D isn't working correctly. My second top tip to you is that the industry recommends that you test your devices once every 6 months, but I think that's too long of a time frame to carry it out. I strongly recommend you carry out the testing procedure on your R.C.D once every 3 months. Do not be tempted to do it more frequently, as you could wear out the device prematurely. My final top tip to you would be, if you go to your fuse board and have a look and see that not every circuit has R.C.D protection, do not panic. It's not always necessary to install R.C.D protection for every circuit at your property. If you are worried though, ring an electrician and ask him to carry out a condition report to your property, and he'll be able to tell you whether it's needed or not. And if money's a little tight, ask him to visually check. A visual condition report typically takes 1 hour's labour time of an electrician, whereas a condition report can take up to a whole full day. So how are you going to remember to test your R.C.Ds once every 3 months? Well, I've got a simple answer for that too. All you have to do is remember the acronym TIT, which stands for Test It Tuesday. If you remember the last Tuesday of every March, every June, every September and every December to carry out the functional test on your R.C.D, you'll be fine.